I just wanted to give a shout out to the people that are involved in the protest, specifically, in particular, my black brothers and sisters that are involved in this Black Lives Matter movement. Now, up front, I want to make it clear I 100% 100% support the sentiment that Black Lives Matter. For the entirety of my life, I've seen the imbalances in our system. I've seen it on a personal level, and I've watched it with my peers. I don't have any doubt, any question, anything. There's no doubt in my mind that the sentiment and the movement is necessary and it's legit. But the organization Black Lives Matter, I believe, is leading black people into a dark place, allowing the stuff that's happening and not putting just an immediate cap on it. What you are doing is you are going to have this cycle repeat itself, and what's going to happen is going to be worse than what we're fighting against now, what we're complaining against now. And I know in the present moment, with a feminist imperative that has taken over our country, everybody wants to be emotional and act irrational out of emotionality. That's not the way that things get worked out. And if you just take a second and take a breath and really research the history, there are two sides to what's going on now that have been consistent. Number one, we have had we have had a history of law enforcement feeling like it was their right and their entitlement to treat black men in particular like hunting game. And you don't have to agree with that. You can cite statistics because of shootings and stuff, but there are deaths that come from beating, from choking, from different methods. It's not just about guns and cops and all this. It's just an ingrained part of our fabric. And until we really deal with the issues that cause the problems, we're going to completely fall into the cycle of repeating the same thing. Now, this is my point in this. I know that in while you're emotional right now, and you're full of feminist imperative, and I'm talking to the men, this emotionality and this overreaction, it feels good in the moment, but it's not going to play out well. And I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. If you research the history that the part of history that you're missing, the part of history that is being overlooked, and I think that has been overlooked every time this happens, is the country, the people that aren't standing in your face right now, and throwing rocks and spitting and all this, holding Confederate flags. There's a big population of the people that are being terrified, that are being bullied, that are being objectified for some shit that happened hundreds of years ago. Now, while they may have white privilege and all of these divisive catchphrases, the bottom line is, when you look at the condition of the black community has a lot of things that they could fix inside their own community, instead of sitting back waiting for handouts from the very entity, the very body that has caused the problems in the first place. Now, this is my point in this rant. If you go and check out every time that black communities have acted out in the same way, you can go back to the Detroit Watts riots in the 60s, LA riots in the 90s, and now this thing. Every 30 years we have this uprising. And what it is it's a cycle of aggravation and agitation, passivity, and then the next generation comes and they're fucking pissed. And that's what happened, after the Black Panthers were dismantled. There were concessions given that pacified the community, but nothing really changed. Promises were made that were broken. And then here's the catch: the people that make promises to you aren't going to be here forever. A lot of them are going to lie, they're going to manipulate, they're going to use the system to get the votes and everything, but nothing ever changes. Poverty in the inner city is still rampant. Crime is still rampant because of the poverty. The prison system is almost 50% black people. That's by design. There's a lot of things that need to be fixed and reformed. It's not just about the killing part. But here is the fuckery that you need to pay attention to. What is going to happen after this is all over? No matter what comes out of this, no matter what happens with this, when the people that you're scaring right now, when the people that you're terrorizing right now, when they go to the election ballot, when they go to the election box to cast their votes for the people that are going to run the government, they're going to vote for someone who's going to contain your ass, that's going to change all the laws, just like they did when they came in and changed everything after black people thought they, I mean, if you go through every one of our historical riots and uprisings, the government makes promises, black people are appeased, nothing changes, and the cycle repeats itself. So this is my point. Right now, you have a lot of negative influences that have infiltrated your cause, and in doing so and not getting rid of them and not dealing with that, and allowing those numbers to inflate the numbers and not policing that, you're setting yourself up for something that is going to be way worse than what we have now. You don't have to believe it. Just look at history. History is going to repeat itself. That's what we are going to have. You've got to have a sane dialogue. Taking over a city and pretending to be some unified, all of you goofy fuckers that are involved in that, people are letting you get away with this. It's foolish to believe that you can have an uprising and shut down the American government. The only thing that it would take is the unleashing of the National Guard or a group of militia patriots. You people aren't ready for any of this. And so instead of acting like clowns and doing goofy shit, walking around with signs and just doing shit that's going to yield nothing whatsoever, make demands or make suggestions that are feasible, that are reasonable. I mean, that's what makes sense. What makes sense is asking for things that would help the whole society instead of complaining about things that can't be fixed anymore. Slavery's done. It's over with. We can't do anything to fix it. What we need to fix is the aftermath, the aftertaste of it. We've never dealt with that. And putting Band-Aids on it and then ripping the Band-Aids off when we get new legislation is a problem. The problems in this country are way deeper than black and white. They're way deeper than black and white. And there's a quote in a movie, The Free State of Jones. Matthew McConaughey said this, and if you, white people, black people alike, if you can grasp the truth of this, then you can see who the real enemies are of the people. Not just black people, of the people. At the end of the day, we're all just somebody's nigger. That's the truth. That's the truth. No matter what privilege you have, if you answer to someone else, you're somebody else's nigger. And when you really can pull back and see from a lens that's not just your own personal bullshit, your own personal life, your own community, your own shit, when you can pull back and look at the society of America, we're sick. We're sick because we have no morals, we have no values as a country. It's every man for himself, and then they've divided that as well. So if we want to make some real change, we need to change the things that are causing the problems Poverty, school, prisons. Those three things can be dealt with by not by socialism, by simply taking the funds that are allocated. Everybody pays taxes. Poor people pay taxes, rich people pay taxes. Instead of funding dumb shit, take care of the people of the country. All we really need to do, it's very simple. The fix for our country is very, very, very simple. It's very simple. You take a little piece from the Bible and a little piece from the Constitution, and that's all you got to do. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Really simple. And then honor the things that we wrote down on the Constitution. It's that fucking simple. If all men are created equal, let's treat all men equally. That's all we have to do. But black folks, listen, I know it feels good when it feels like you're winning. But I guarantee you the people that rioted in Detroit and Watts, they felt like they were winning. I was alive and witnessed the LA riots. Everybody thought they were winning. But the shit that came after that, I mean, look at where we're at. No real change. No real change. So if we want to really change, it's time to pull back on the emotion and start coming up with logical, rational things that we want that are going to be good for our communities and our country. That's the only way we're going to make it. The divisiveness is by design. It's by design. And they want us to act emotionally. They want us to act. They want us to act irrationally. That way they can come in with a solution that will be worse than the problem that we face now. Pay attention, man. Pay attention. We are living in a weird fucking time right now. And I think that we're writing history as we go. It's time to write the history that we want instead of allowing them to dictate what it'll be. Stay sharp, man. Out.